out. So that's fascinating. All right, so moving on now, we're going to be bringing in our next guest. Joining us now, member of the House Ways and Means Committee, Democratic Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy of Florida. She is co-chair of the Blue Dog Coalition and out this morning with a new op-ed in the Washington Post entitled, "I'm a proud Democrat, and I'm also a proud capitalist." Joe, she answered your question.
You answered the question.
And okay, that was easy.
So you are a capitalist. Explain.
You know, I wrote that op-ed because I felt like I needed to interject and have a voice in this whole conversation about socialism because of my personal story. Just really briefly, I escaped communist Vietnam with my family. We were rescued by the U.S. Navy. I've had a chance to pursue the American dream here. I care deeply about the direction this country is going in. And I also remember a time when I was a child packing up basic supplies and shipping them back to family members in Vietnam who were suffering from shortages as a result of the implementation of socialist economic policies. And so I've seen the darker sides of socialism, just as many of my constituents in Florida who have experienced Fidel Castro's Cuba or Maduro's Venezuela. And so I find this whole conversation that we're having in the greatest democracy, greatest capitalist system in the world, this casual conversation we're having about socialism, really, disconcerting that we would think about going to that form of economic policies that we've seen fail so much across this world.
So Nancy Pelosi, who obviously is a lifelong progressive, has been quite clear that the Democratic Party believes in capitalism. Do you think that what we hear from some more vocal members talking about democratic socialism and attacking capitalism, do you think that's more the exception than the actual rule in the Democratic Party?
Yes, there are a small number of voices that are talking about socialism, but the broad swath of the Democratic caucus is not embracing those policies. I think what you see also is the Republicans, for cynical and politically advantageous reasons, trying to paint the entire party as socialist when that is from the truth. If you look at the number of new Dems that there are, those are pro-business Democrats. There's over 100 of those. I lead a coalition of 27 Blue Dog Democrats, also folks who do not embrace the socialist policies. But let's be clear that there are concerns about inequality in this country, and so we have to use our democratic systems as duly elected officials and try to improve our capitalist system to make sure that we take care of, give equal opportunity to everyone. That's the best way to beat back this whole conversation about socialism.
Congresswoman, it's an interesting choice right now to write this op-ed, and I think it's an important decision and a conversation that should be had. And always within political parties, there are certain tribes. But do you see this as the ascendancy of socialism as part of the conversation within the Democratic Party? Do you see it as a threat to the potential of Democrats to regain the White House in 2020?
I would say that if there's an ascendancy of the conversation around socialism, it's one that is in part manufactured by the Republicans as a tactic in the 2020 election, as opposed to it being a true conversation that is somehow dividing the Democratic caucus. As I've said, the Democratic caucus, I think on the whole, my colleagues and I believe in our capitalist system. We believe in making it better. But we have to make sure that we don't allow the Republicans to weaponize this word and try to paint the party, in an irresponsible way. They're doing as much to normalize the conversation around socialism as the handful of Democratic members who embrace those policies.
All right, Representative Stephanie Murphy, thank you very much for being on the show this morning. We really appreciate it.
Great to be with you.